Hello, what's up? Welcome to the show, y'all. Let's get into it. So Shane McMahon was pictured with Tony Khan down to the Tony Khan Enterprises AEW. Everybody was shocked because JR had made like a tongue-in-cheek, kind of conversation on his podcast, like, well, what if Shane McMahon went to AEW and whoop the whoop the whoop, and everybody's like, yeah, whatever. And then for this picture to show up, it's like, oh, word. Again, I always say Shane McMahon is his father's son, just like Triple H is a student of Vince McMahon, and Tony Khan, does a lot of coke or whatever, and I don't really expect too much creative ideas coming out of their respective promotions because they won't even diversify the writer's room, the boardroom, anything like that. Yes, I use the word diversify. Oh my God. So I went ahead and found 5 ideas Shane McMahon pitched to Vince, and I wanted to see, what do you think that would look like in AEW? So one of the ideas that Shane McMahon pitched to Vince was Raw Underground. Now, he did on the 3rd hour of Raw for a minute there, Raw Underground was on there, which basically was like it looked like a Fight Club kind of setting. There was no ring ropes and everybody just was like beating each other up. I actually like that. I was going to say in a podcast that I'd never made that concept of Raw Underground would have been a good streaming exclusive to either Peacock or outside of Peacock, WWE Network. And WWE has been working with Roku channel. That would have been a really cool exclusive concept. You could have put storylines on there. It could have been like a Lucha Underground kind of thing. I thought that was actually a cool thing that Shane McMahon was doing, and it brought something different to the 3rd hour of Raw. What do you think that would look like in AEW if he in fact is working with Tony Khan? Because I really do think these people don't put stuff out if it's not really something going on. He didn't go over there just to say, oh, you're doing good. No, he went over there to say, let me do some things with you. Okay, so that was the first idea, was the Raw Underground. So according to this, Shane McMahon is the reason why WWE has a website, which I wouldn't be shocked because Vince McMahon, being older and out of touch like most old people are, did not understand that they needed to get an internet footprint. And so WWE.com, if you go over there, I usually go over there to get actual who's going to be on the card, if it's like a WrestleMania or something like that, because a lot of times online don't be right. But Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon is the one that brought the internet and what needs to be done and all of that to his father. Now, I don't know what AEW's internet is looking like over there. I don't know if they really utilize the internet like that. Now, if that's something Shane's good at, maybe he could optimize AEW's digital footprint. I mean, that would be something he could bring to the table. Would you like to see the reformation of the Mean Street Posse? Anybody remembers that? Now, the fact that I completely forgot that Shane McMahon had his snobby ass friends from Connecticut running all over the goddamn TV is absolutely hilarious. Who would you think could be in the Mean Street Posse over in AEW? Because AEW doesn't give billionaire family. It gives, we work, but we also moonlight as wrestlers in the afternoon. If that makes sense, right? You got post office workers who then work on the weekends as hardcore wrestlers. That's what AEW gives. Would you like to see the Mean Street Posse reformed in AEW with Shane McMahon maybe taking a TV persona? According to this, Shane was trying to convince Vince to purchase an MMA company. Now, fast forward, TKO, WWE, MMA, pro wrestling collides. A lot of MMA wrestlers parlay into pro wrestling because they could kind of still use their skills and, bullshit or whatever. Now, Ronda Rousey kind of busted that open. Brock Lesnar. Who else did that? What's the big black dude there? Bobby Lashley busted that open. We got Shayna Baszler Um, Even Sonya Deville claimed she was doing some MMA, and that one Lola Vice, right? So if he did in fact come to AEW, maybe he could kind of get some more of that MMA element into AEW and get a little more structured matches. So Shane apparently wanted Vince to purchase UFC, Pride, and Strikeforce, and they didn't do none of that. So maybe that's something he could also pitch to Tony Khan, as if he needs more ultra violent wrestling. But what else? Shane is there to give him ideas, right? Now, Shane famously came out, and after the purchase of WCW and all of that, he was the head of ECW. Shane is into that extreme shit. Remember, like I said, he did the underground. Again, ECW is a thing of legend. Y'all like to, chant it for whatever reason. Maybe that's something he could bring over to AEW. Kind of turn Ring of Honor more ECW-esque to get more eyes on Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? Or even on AEW Collision, you could kind of put a ECW stank on it and have Shane come out as like a general manager or running that show. That would be interesting. What you think? I think at the end of the day, Shane having a storyline. I remember he had a storyline that he just wanted his dad to notice him, to recognize him, to love him, and he was doing everything in his power to get Vince to pay attention to him, and Vince never did, or never really gave him the attention a father should give his son. That was a storyline during, the Attitude Era for a minute. I think this would, the good thing, if this was actually to come to fruition for Shane, would be to shut the naysayers up, because people just say Shane has terrible ideas, but they never gave you examples, like I just did, of some of the ideas that he brought up to his dad. Why Vince never bit, I don't know. But I think if Shane decided to work with Tony Khan in the background or in the forefront, he would be able to show people that he does have good ideas, and he does bring something to the table that would be different from his dad. Now, how can that backfire? He could be just like his dad and come up with a bunch of dumb shit, and then it feels too WWE-esque and everything's fucked up, everybody's angry, and then we get a whole nother story of how Shane McMahon scared Tony Khan and he put his hands on him, or whatever the case may be. It could completely implode and be terrible. So whatever either side agrees, there's pros and cons, but I think for Shane, it would probably be a little more beneficial, because he could step out of his pop shadow and show the world at his 50, what is he, like 50, 55 years old, that he too can contribute to the wrestling world in a positive way. So although everybody's looking like, oh my God, I actually think this would be good for Shane McMahon. Now, I don't know if it would be good for AEW in the long run, but for Shane McMahon, this would be a really good step to show he is independent, he got ideas, and he's not that dork that CM Punk had called him when he was doing the pipe bomb. Y'all tell me what y'all think about Shane McMahon joining AEW, or is this just a nothing burger and it was just a picture and whoop de whoop de whoop. Catch you on the next.